Welcome back to Vegas Live with Ninon. Of course, I don't have to tell you where we are, Pepper Mill. In fact, one of my guests earlier, actually, his brother built the Pepper Mill. It was absolutely amazing. Fred Domini, his brother, I believe his name is Edward, and he actually built this. He designed it and built it and everything else. They still own it, but they lease it out to the Pepper Mill now. Isn't that a great story?
Amazing.
And then we have Reggie on. Reggie is your recurring guest that comes on, and he talks all about marriage and relationships and all those things that we get so confused about and irritable about and angry about and happy about. But today he wants to talk about how thankful we should be for whatever we should have. And what are your thoughts? And you brought this up. You're thankful. You are obviously thankful for what's going on with you. And I think we'll bring that up a little later, because that's pretty. What's going to happen when we bring it up? But let's talk about this. Be thankful.
Well, you know, first of all, let me just say it's always a pleasure to be sitting here next to you, and we get to talk about what I consider like the vicissitudes of life.
Life, everyday life.
Everyday life. We get to talk about those things. And
that we get so confused about.
We do. And right now, I think it's a time that we understand what it really means to be thankful. There's so much going on. There's so much chaos. There's a lot of, and some for confusion, chaos. But in the midst of all of that, we still have so much to be thankful for.
So much.
And I was
very thankful.
Yeah, I was really looking at that word, thankful, and I kind of did what they call an etymological study. Right?
Okay, yes.
So, thankful actually comes from a Latin word called tangere.
Tangere. So don't say thankful anymore, say tangere.
But tangere, watch how they all come together. I loved it because tangere comes where we get our English word tongue.
Tangere.
Tangere, we get our English word tongue. But then when you put it all together, Ninon, it derives from the English where we understand thank you.
It's funny, the English always have to be in everything, and I don't know why. I don't know if we were the original people that landed on this planet or what it was, but it's always, the English always seem to come up with these things, don't they?
Yeah. But it's so amazing because one has to do with
the
tongue, and then the other what you say from the tongue.
Yes.
Because that word thank you really means remember what I did for you.
Yeah, because it's always after the fact.
Remember what I did for you.
We don't. That's right.
And when we're not thankful, we remember what you did to me.
To me. Now we're getting the explanation, which we don't sometimes want to hear, do we?
No, we don't. Because we mostly remember what you did to me as opposed to remember what you did for me. Because when you remember what you did for me, it has the attachment of much obliged. I owe you a debt.
Yes.
And I'm thankful.
That's positive and negative.
Yes.
Coming into it, a majority of people are negative. I talked to a couple of women today and yesterday, and always negative. Not thinking of the thankful stuff, thinking of the non-thankful
I'm thinking of what you did to me. I'm not thinking of what you did for me. So even in relationships, with the pandemic and everything going on, we just talked about how chaotic and how crazy and how much confusion people are in the midst of right now. You can still remember the things that people have done for you. Yeah. That puts you in the predicament of being thankful.
I've always been very thankful. I don't know how many times a day I thank God for certain things He does for me. I get so much stuff done for me, and I'm so grateful and so thankful. I don't see the negative stuff out there. I don't see all this garbage out there, because it seems to bring people down rather than being thankful, which takes you up.
Right.
I mean, don't you feel good when you say thank you to someone?
You feel amazing because, again, watch this. That English also derives from the word think. So it's all about how you think determines what you say. So if I think about the positive, then I'm going to speak positive. If I think on the negative,
you think first, then it comes out. It doesn't come out and then think.
No.
It's
like think before you
talk.
Say.
Yeah, well, it's always been a favorite saying. Yeah. You know, think before you say something. You know, see what comes out.
Put the thought to what you're getting ready to say, because once you say it, you can't pull it back.
And that's what
it's out there.
Now, isn't that what happens with so many relationships? That you say something and you cannot take it back.
It's that death. Death in life is in the power of the tongue. So you can speak life to someone, or you can speak death to someone, but choose to speak life because you want to think on the positive things.
Well, you can be nice or you can not be nice.
That's right.
And I think, personally, my own opinion, I think it's better to be nice. Not everybody in this world is going to like me, but that does not make that person a bad person.
No.
They're not bad. It's just that we just don't get on, or we don't contact. Well, you can't be contacted with everybody, though. Biggest life with Ninon is contacting the whole world. So
your energy is not going to coincide with everyone else's energy.
No, not
That's
at
why
all.
sometimes you get a bad vibe about somebody, but doesn't mean that person's a bad person.
No.
It's just I got
My
a bad
interpretation.
vibe.
My
Yes,
interpretation.
and so I don't. Doesn't make me right and make them wrong, or make them wrong and make me right, or vice versa. However, it's just that our energy just don't happen to coincide. There's a word called symphoneo. It's where we get our
I love
word.
all these new words he's coming up with. I'm beginning. I'm like in school. I love this.
It's where we get our English word symphony.
Symphony. Yes.
Harmony.
Harmony. Well,
An
symphony,
agreement.
Concert.
That's what agreement
They're
is.
all
The
in
word
harmony.
symphoneo. So
Symphoneo,
we're just not in agreement. Okay, that's fine, but doesn't mean that I'm right, you're wrong.
Absolutely. You know, it's funny you say that because I was married for 29 years. And obviously, you know, a man, I'm a woman, so obviously we're going to think different anyway. But whenever I felt that there was a little something going on, I backed off. And he also did. We had very, very few arguments because we had the greatest respect for each other, of understanding that he has one way of thinking and I have another. But of course, a man and a woman, you have one way, I have another way. And it's never going to change.
Well, we have
try
different stances, but
we
we
try
just
to
yes.
be compatible.
Yes. What's our common denominator? That's what we focus. Like, what is our common denominator? What is the thing that we have a mutual respect for? So we meet in the middle. We establish the common denominator, which in most cases that's the conversation, because now we have to understand the common union.
Yes.
What is the common union, which is the common denominator? That's where we get our communication word. Common union, that's how you get communication.
Yes. And if you like that person enough, you should be able to communicate
Yes.
and understand that they have a right to feel how they feel, but you also have a right to feel how you feel.
Respectfully,
And
respectfully agree
Yes.
to disagree.
To disagree.
That's the symphoneo, because there's agreement.
That's right.
Although we don't agree, we still agree.
Yes, you still agree, and that becomes the symphony.
Yes.
That's amazing. Now, we both have announcements to make, and they're pretty cool and they're pretty great. In fact, we were sitting in this booth about 2 weeks ago, and we were working out what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. Now, the name of the company is called Win.
Win, which
Win.
is spelt the same way that...
As win.
No, does he spell his
Yes,
W-Y?
W-Y,
Same way,
It's
yes.
the same way.
Yeah.
It's the Win Network, and they're out of Arizona.
Yeah, their headquarters, their building in Tempe, Arizona.
And they have invited, I was invited through Reggie to have my show on their network, which is absolutely amazing. So we're preparing to get all that done. I'm so excited that I can't even sit still. But so we're preparing to do all that. So we're both going to be, I'm going to be on the Win Network starting in a couple
December.
of weeks. December.
At 10 p.m. You got like
I
a
didn't
great
even
time
know
slot.
that.
10 p.m.
This is news to me. I'm on 10 p.m.
Monday through Friday.
Monday through Friday.
I'm coming on at 11:30 a.m.
You're
Monday
coming-
through Friday.
Oh, so you're coming on in the
I'm
morning.
in the morning. They
time
get
and
me
I'm at
morning. They
night.
get you night.
Yeah, you get
You put them to
morning.
bed. I wake them up.
You wake them up. And I put them to sleep. But I'm not boring. I'm not boring. I promise you I won't be boring. So that's a miss. So we're both very, very excited because both of us, I haven't known Reggie that long, but long enough to know that you've worked very hard in your life. You've worked and you've dedicated your life to what you like doing, which is sorting out and understanding people, especially marriages and couples, and not to divorce or to divorce or why you're divorcing. And I think you went through that. It kind of ticked off when you went through a divorce.
Yes,
And
correct.
am I right? That's
Correct.
Sort of
I was on the circuit already, but at that time I was talking primarily to men. And so I had a book out back in 2000, did really well, but I was speaking to men. And then I went through a divorce, and then I started reevaluating, and I assessed my situation.
Hang in a second. There's a woman attached to this.
So I just simply asked myself 3 questions. What did I do wrong? What could I have done differently? What won't I do moving forward? and I journaled and journaled and journaled and studied and read on dating and relationships and read on dating and relationships because I wanted to understand the psychoses of the woman's mind and how women
Oh yeah,
think.
well, we think completely different.
Oh, totally.
And I think that we don't seem to understand that. We seem to think, when a man walks in the house, well, we take the barrels out, or why are you late? Or, it's always this aggressive thing goes on as soon as he gets in the door. Why? And I never understand that. So what did you learn to become a better person after the divorce? Of things you could have changed.
I just did an interview last week for a talk show in London, and she asked me that question, and my answer to her was, I learned that I was selfish. And
all about you?
It was all about me, and so I had to work really, really, really hard to be selfless. So I transitioned from being selfish to selfless, but it came with a lot of work.
But you put it both together.
You had to put the work in. It was a lot of work.
You have to work it. Yeah. I know that when I was married, it's not only being married, it's working the marriage. And I did work my husband's marriage. And he worked it and I worked. He was married twice before, so he had heads up on women. I had no idea. I'd never been married before. So I personally didn't know. But I knew that, and I used to call him, I used to say, I serve my husband. And most women say, why do you serve your husband? I said, because I want to. I served my husband. He served me.
See, you guys had created harmony.
We did. We created harmony.
And you just said something that's so very, very important and vital. You can't listen to the voices on the sidelines, spectators.
No.
Because the spectators are not on the playing field,
they're
so they're not the participators.
Yeah, they're not you.
You're the participator.
Yes. Yeah.
And so the exchange is taking place between.
So when they said, why would you? Why would you serve your husband? I said, well, why wouldn't I? He's my husband. Why wouldn't I? I serve a lot of people. I do a lot of stuff. So why wouldn't I serve him?
Right.
And he served me. And he served me. I'm going to brag now. I'm really going to brag. He was so good to me. He bought me a lot of stuff. And we started with nothing. He had no money when I met him, and I didn't have too much money. I think I had more than him, but, because he went through a divorce. But after a few years, we were into real estate. We did extremely well in real estate. I had this brain for real estate. He had the figures and all that stuff. We worked very, very well together. And one day he says, let's go to Pasadena. I thought, what do I go to Pasadena for? Anyway, we go to Rolls Royce and he buys me a brand new Rolls Royce. And he bought me that because this was his way of saying thank you. Because he'd never done this before. He'd never had this amount of money. He'd never done as well. And he knew, as a man, kind of admitting that this woman helped me. And if I hadn't done it, listen to her. So if you listen to your husband or listen to your wife, which is what you do, and what you're preaching out there, think what they could gain.
It's very important.
Not what they can lose. It's what they can gain. It's a pack.
You just said something. I want to say this. I wrote a note, and I before I came on here, we're talking about things to be thankful for. You just said something. Look at what you have and not what you lost. Very important. Look at what you have, and don't concentrate on what you lost.
Well, you've lost. If you've lost it, you've lost it. So if you're going to concentrate on something that's gone, why would you even bother? Like losing a friend, why would you bother with that? Because the friend doesn't want to talk to you anymore. So go and find another friend. Go and find somebody that likes you, wants to be with you. So so this is what you learned. You learned a whole bunch of stuff after your divorce, but not while you were married.
Yeah, but it was all intentional, because it had that not happened, we wouldn't be here having this conversation about this.
And we wouldn't be on the Win Network
And
either,
so-
because through Reggie, through you,
The universe. It was divinely assigned and appointed
yes, I
to
know,
the
but I
universe.
want to thank you anyway, because it wasn't for Reggie, and if it wasn't for Steve, who puts this whole show together, he edits it, he films it, he does everything. And so if it wasn't for everybody that I appreciate, we wouldn't even be here.
Good team. And Steven is like the MVP.
Yes.
He's like the most valuable producer.
Oh, absolutely. And everybody wants to steal him from me, but they can't, because he knows he's not going anywhere, because he knows what we're doing. But anyway, I just want to give a shout out to the Win. Absolutely amazing.
Dr. John Wynn, we appreciate.
Yeah, Dr. John Wynn, that's right, Dr. John Wynn. I actually met him in this booth. Amazing man, absolutely wonderful. We got on very, very well. And when I told him that I would like to have an evening spot, and I'm sitting there like thinking, is he going to, because I didn't want to be an afternoon woman show. I didn't want that. And I thought, oh dear, is he going to let me do that? And he said, yes, you can have it. And I nearly fell. I nearly fell. I acted very demure, though. I acted very good. I was really cool. But I think, I don't know. But it was pretty cool, that.
Yeah,
So,
you left what I call this indelible impression upon him. Because even after our meeting, he called me about a few days later. I told my mother about her. he says, I don't know what it is. It was just something about her. I told my mother about her. And that is not like him to do something like that.
I can't think of any man telling his mother about a woman that's got a talk show in Vegas at the Peppermill. But hello, things do happen. So we've got to thank the Win Network, because we're both going to be on there. You're going to be on 10:30 in the 11:30. He's going to be on the 11:30 Monday to Friday. I'm going to be on at night at 10 to 11. So both of us are going to be there and doing our thing, and it's going to be amazing. And I'm so excited. But I want to thank you, Reggie.
Oh,
Because
thank you.
Nothing happens without you. Remember that. Always remember that. Nothing happens without you. I wouldn't have this cup if somebody hadn't made it. And that's somebody else. Always remember everything. We wouldn't be able to sit down if it wasn't for the other person.
That's energy.
And that's how it kind of works. So nothing happens without you. I wouldn't have a show if none of you are watching me either. Right?
That's true. That's true.
How can they reach you, Reggie?
Oh, you can go to my Facebook at C Reggie, R-E-G-I, Rogers, R-O-D-G-E-R-S. That's my Facebook. You can also catch me on Instagram, same C R-E-G-I, Rogers, R-O-D-G-E-R-S. And go to my website, www.creggie, R-E-G-I, Rogers, R-O-D-G-E-R-S, creggierogers.com. And I do an article for My Vegas magazine, and I do an article on dating and relationships. So if you haven't picked up My Vegas magazine, the latest
pick it up
edition,
now.
you got to go get it. I've got a great article in there called The Dating Process.
Amazing. Thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you.
on again. We'll see him in a couple of weeks, and we'll be right back. Vegas Live with Ninon. Take care. If you enjoyed the last show we just did and all the other shows, don't forget to subscribe. Vegas Live with Ninon on YouTube. We've got plenty more coming up, and our guests are amazing. So don't forget to subscribe. We'll be right back. Vegas Live with Ninon.